This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome to Astronomy Daily, where we cover the latest space and astronomy news. I'm your host, Anna, and in today's episode, we'll explore exciting developments from China's space program, NASA's Day of Remembrance, SpaceX's Starlink innovations, and more fascinating stories from the cosmos. So let's get started with today's news. China continues to make significant strides in its space ambitions with the latest launch of their Thousand Sails Mega Constellation project. Earlier this week, a Long March 6A rocket successfully delivered 18 new satellites into orbit from the Taiyuan Satellite Launch Center in northern China. This marks the fourth batch of satellites for this ambitious Internet Constellation project, bringing the total number of Thousand Sails satellites in orbit to 72. The project, also known as Tianfan, is being led by Shanghai Spacecom Satellite Technology and has some impressive goals. They're aiming to construct a constellation of 14,000 satellites, with plans to have around 600 operational by the end of 2025. The company has already secured substantial funding, raising nearly $1 billion in early 2024 to support this massive undertaking. What's particularly interesting about these launches is the innovative approach China is taking with their rocket technology. The Long March 6A rocket used for this mission is unique in Chinese spaceflight, being their first and only launcher to combine a liquid propellant core stage with solid propellant side boosters. This configuration allows it to lift around 4,500 kilograms into a sun-synchronous orbit. However, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. The earlier launches have shown mixed results, with the first batch of satellites successfully raising their orbits to their operational altitude of about 1,060 kilometers. The second batch, however, has shown limited orbit-raising activity, suggesting possible technical issues with those satellites. This launch is part of China's broader space ambitions for 2025, which may include up to 100 orbital launches. Among these are planned crewed missions to their Tiangong space station and the exciting Tianwen-2 asteroid sample return mission scheduled for later this year. Next up, in a moving tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice in humanity's quest to explore space, NASA held its annual Day of Remembrance ceremonies across multiple facilities. At Kennedy Space Center in Florida and Johnson Space Center in Houston, NASA personnel gathered to honor the crews of 3 tragic missions that shaped the agency's approach to safety and mission planning. Deputy Director Kelvin Manning of Kennedy Space Center emphasized that these commemorations serve as crucial reminders that we cannot allow time to diminish the lessons learned from these tragedies. The losses span different eras of space exploration, beginning with the Apollo 1 fire in January 1967, which claimed the lives of astronauts Roger Chaffee, Ed White, and Gus Grissom during a ground test of their command module. The Challenger disaster struck 19 years later, when the space shuttle broke apart just 73 seconds after launch. The crew of 7 included Dick Scobie, Michael Smith, Judith Resnick, Ronald McNair, Ellison Onizuka, Gregory Jarvis, and Krista McAuliffe, who would have been the first teacher in space. The Space Shuttle Columbia's loss in 2003 marked another devastating chapter in spaceflight history. As the orbiter attempted re-entry, it disintegrated, taking with it the lives of Rick Husband, William McCool, Michael Anderson, David Brown, Kalpana Chawla, Laurel Clark, and Ilan Ramon. Each of these crew members represented groundbreaking achievements in space exploration, including the first Indian American and Israeli astronauts to reach orbit. These anniversaries, clustered together in the calendar, remind us that space exploration, despite its tremendous advances, remains an endeavor that demands our utmost respect, vigilance, and commitment to safety. As we push forward to new frontiers, the legacy of these brave pioneers continues to influence how we approach the challenges and risks of human spaceflight. SpaceX is taking its revolutionary Starlink satellite network to the next level with an ambitious new capability that could transform how we stay connected worldwide. The company is preparing to begin beta testing its direct-to-cell technology, which will allow regular mobile phones to connect directly to Starlink satellites for calls, texts, and data. No special equipment required. This innovative system works by equipping Starlink satellites with specialized modems that essentially turn them into orbital cell towers. When your phone can't find a regular cell signal, it will be able to connect directly to these satellites overhead, routing your communications through Starlink's ground network and onto your carrier systems. The beta testing is set to begin on January 27th, working with cellular carrier partners around the globe. During the 6-month test period, SpaceX will evaluate how well the system performs in real-world conditions across different phases of satellite operations, from initial launch through regular orbital service. What makes this particularly exciting is its potential to eliminate cellular dead zones almost anywhere on Earth. Whether you're hiking in remote wilderness, sailing offshore, or living in an area with limited infrastructure, you could still make emergency calls or access basic communications as long as you can see the sky. The system is designed to work with existing phones. No need to buy special satellite hardware. This is a crucial advantage over traditional satellite phones, which are typically expensive and bulky. By leveraging the growing Starlink constellation, which already includes nearly 7,000 satellites, SpaceX aims to provide truly global cellular coverage. If the beta testing proves successful, this technology could be transformative for emergency services and remote communications. It could quite literally save lives by allowing people to call for help from anywhere. The implications for global connectivity, especially in underserved regions, are enormous. The test period runs through July 26th, giving SpaceX and its partners time to evaluate performance, reliability, and coverage before potentially expanding to full commercial service. This marks another step in SpaceX's broader mission to revolutionize global communications, while generating additional revenue to support their ambitious space exploration goals.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace. You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Meanwhile, out in deep space, a remarkable celestial event is currently unfolding that could see one of astronomy's most famous young stars gradually fade from view. Tauri, located 471 light-years away in the constellation Taurus, is entering what astronomers are calling a great dimming that could potentially last for an entire century. This fascinating star system actually consists of 3 young stars still in their infancy. While we can typically only see one member of this cosmic family, Tauri North, through optical telescopes, its 2 companion stars orbit about 100 astronomical units away, hidden within a thick disk of gas and dust. What makes this situation particularly interesting is that the orbital dance of these stars is now bringing that massive dust disk directly between Earth and Tauri North. Amateur astronomers have already noticed significant changes, with the star's brightness dropping dramatically since 2016. By 2022, it had dimmed by about 2 magnitudes, a change not seen in over 100 years. But this may be just the beginning. As the dust disk continues its slow march across our line of sight, Tauri North could potentially disappear entirely from view through conventional telescopes. The same disk that currently renders its companion stars invisible in visible light could soon completely obscure our view of the primary star. However, this dimming event presents an unprecedented opportunity for scientists. As Tauri North's light filters through the disk, researchers can analyze how different wavelengths are absorbed, revealing detailed information about the disk's composition. This is particularly exciting because we're essentially getting a chance to study the chemical makeup of a planetary nursery, the very environment where new worlds are being born. The region of the disk that will obscure Tauri North is comparable to our solar system's Kuiper belt, making this a unique chance to study the outer regions of a young planetary system in unprecedented detail. It's like having a front row seat to witness the processes that likely shaped our own solar system billions of years ago. A quick update now. Boeing's financial outlook for their space division has taken another hit, with the company announcing they expect to record additional losses of around $400 million on their CST-100 Starliner commercial crew program in the fourth quarter of 2024. This comes on top of significant charges already taken against the program in previous quarters. The situation with Starliner has become increasingly uncertain since its uncrewed test flight last September. While the spacecraft successfully returned to Earth, NASA made the decision to keep the mission's designated astronauts aboard the International Space Station due to concerns about thruster performance during the spacecraft's journey. In response to these ongoing challenges, NASA has pushed back plans for Starliner's first operational mission beyond 2025. The space agency has instead opted to rely on SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft for upcoming ISS crew rotations, including both the Crew 10 mission launching this March and Crew 11 scheduled for late summer. The timing of Starliner's next flight remains up in the air, with NASA stating they need to establish a better understanding of Boeing's path to system certification before making any decisions. The agency is keeping various options open for potential Starliner flights in 2025, but no specific timeline has been announced. Adding to the uncertainty, Boeing has been studying ways to streamline its business operations, potentially discontinuing work in areas outside its core commercial aviation and defense sectors. Some industry analysts are even predicting that Boeing might divest its space division entirely this year, which could mark a significant shift in the commercial space landscape. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory is gearing up for an ambitious year ahead, with several groundbreaking missions set to launch throughout 2025. One of the most anticipated missions is the SpaceX Space Observatory, scheduled for launch no earlier than February 27th from Vandenberg Space Force Base. This trumpet-shaped observatory, roughly the size of a subcompact car, will create 4 comprehensive 3D maps of the entire sky, helping us better understand the universe's expansion after the Big Bang and search for the building blocks of life. Another exciting mission is the Lunar Trailblazer, which aims to solve one of the moon's enduring mysteries, the presence and distribution of water on our celestial neighbor. This small satellite will map lunar surface water in unprecedented detail, helping determine its abundance, location, and how it changes over time. The mission is scheduled to launch in late February alongside the Intuitive Machines 2 lunar delivery. The NISAR mission, a collaborative effort between NASA and India's space agency, represents a major advancement in Earth observation capabilities. This sophisticated spacecraft will carry both L-band and S-band radars, allowing it to monitor surface changes related to natural phenomena like earthquakes, volcanoes, and deforestation with remarkable precision. Looking toward the latter part of the year, Sentinel-6B will launch in November to continue vital sea surface height measurements. Working in tandem with its twin satellite already in orbit, it will extend our global sea level monitoring capabilities for another decade, improving climate models and hurricane tracking. JPL is also preparing to demonstrate new robotic exploration capabilities with the Cadre project, featuring 3 suitcase-sized rovers designed to work autonomously as a team on the lunar surface. This technology could revolutionize how we conduct future planetary exploration missions and support astronaut activities. Additionally, the SEEK experiment aboard the International Space Station will begin testing quantum communication technologies, potentially laying the groundwork for future global quantum networks. Meanwhile, the previously launched Europa Clipper will perform a crucial Mars gravity assist maneuver in March, helping propel it on its journey to Jupiter's intriguing moon. And that's it for today. And a small note, you may have noticed we haven't had a single story about black holes today. I'll try to do better tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Astronomy Daily. I'm your host, Anna, and it's been a pleasure sharing these fascinating stories from the world of space exploration with you. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that you can stay connected with all our content by visiting astronomydaily.io. There you'll find our free daily newsletter and a constantly updating newsfeed of the latest space and astronomy news. You can also listen to all our previous episodes right there on the website. For more space content and updates, you can find us across social media. Just search for Astro Daily Pod on Facebook, X, YouTube Music, Tumblr, and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your preferred platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or any other podcast service you use. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious about our amazing universe. This has been Astronomy Daily, and I'm Anna, signing off.